Hai guys, jangan lupa tonton sampai habis agar tidak gagal paham.
PKI Atrocities story. PKI kills Regent Subdistrict head sadistically reported from for the outbreak of the September 30th movement of 1965 G30S. The Indonesian Communist Party (PKI) had long been entrenched and carried out propaganda in the Indonesian state. A number of major events erupted in the area, such as the 1948 Madiun incident. Before carrying out propaganda in 1948, the PKI since 1945 has carried out many movements at the grassroots. What the people of the 30th of September 1965 movement must understand is that dark history should not be repeated, said historian Restu Gunawan. According to the General Secretary of the Indonesian Historian Society, there were 7 army generals who became victims on the evil night of September 30th, 1965. A number of questions arose at that time. Who is the mastermind? From the source of the book The Night of the 1965 Disaster, which I wrote behind the September 30th movement, it was suspected that there was the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, or the United States Intelligence Agency, the PKI, to conflicts with the internal forces at that time, he explained. Restu said that the situation in September 1965 was described by the proclaimer of Indonesia as a woman who was very pregnant, just waiting to give birth. The complexity of the conspiracy in 1965 must be understood by the Indonesian people. Should not see from one point nor source only. And to this day, no one has succeeded in uncovering the conspiracy. There was a conflict in the army at that time. CIA intervention, I think, yes. Where there is a country in the world without the intervention of America and the PKI, I think, yes. Because from the previous year there was a strong indication that they would carry out a movement, he said. He mentioned that the PKI massively carried out an underground movement by forming the Indonesian Youth Force (API) and the Indonesian Youth Forces (AMRI) on October 8, 1945. Then in the same month, AMRI Slawi led by Sukerman and AMRI Talong led by Kudal terrorized, arrested, and killed a number of government officials in Tegal. The election of the Banten communist figure C.E. Mamat as chairman of the Indonesian National Committee (KNI) on October 17, 1945 then formed the Serang People's Government Council (DPRS) and seized the Ban residency government through terror with the power of the masses. Another sequence of PKI movements. On October 18, 1945, the Tangerang communist leader, Ahmad Koran, who led the Central Board Directory Agency, formed an army called Ubal-Ubal and took over the power of the Tangerang government from the Regent Agus Padmanegara. The Ubal-Ubal Mock Black Army led by Usman killed Otto Iskandar Dinata in December 1945. In November 1945, API and AMRI raided the Tegal Regional Government Office and TKR headquarters but failed. Then formed a joint body for the struggle of the 3 regions to seize power in the Pekalongan Residency, which included Brebes, Tegal, and Pemalang. The following month, December 1945, C.E. Mamat again kidnapped and killed the regent of Lebagar Hardawanangan at the Simansik River Bridge. PKI Cirebon leaders led by Mr. Yusuf and Mr. Soeb Abdo formed Laskar Merah on the 12th of February 1946 and seized control of the city of Cirebon and disarmed tribe. On the 3rd to the 9th of March 1946, the PKI Langkat, North Sumatra, under the leadership of Usman Parandori and Marwan, with a mass movement in the name of social revolution, stormed the Sultan's palace of Langkat Darul Aman in Tanjung Pura, killed the Sultan and his family, and looted his wealth. In 1947, PKI cadre Amir Syarifudin Harahap succeeded in becoming the Prime Minister (PM) of the Republic of Indonesia and formed a cabinet. Next held the Renville Agreement with the Netherlands. President Sukarno on January 23, 1948 then dissolved the cabinet of PM Amir Syarifudin Harahap and appointed Vice President Wapre M. Hatta to form a new cabinet. Vice President M. Hatta carried out reorganization and rationalization (RERA) of the TNI-NPNS to be cleared of PKI elements on May 29, 1948. In May 1948, Musso returned from Moscow, Russia after a year's stay there. In June 18 of July 1948, the PKI Clayton through the Plantation Labor Union of the Republic of Indonesia, SARBUPI, carried out a mass strike to undermine the Indonesian government. After leaving the FDR, PKI in August 1948, Musso reconstructed the PKI Politburo, including DNA to M.H. Luckman and Niauto. Meanwhile, the eruption of the Madian movement in 1948 began when Musso called for RE to be oriented to the Soviet Union. After the disbandment of FDR, the Labour Party and the Socialist Party fused into the PKI. On September 10, 1948, the governor of East Java, Mario Suryo, and two police officers were intercepted by the PKI mob in Kadangala, Nawi, and killed, and their bodies dumped in the forest. Then, in September 1948, because he often opposed the PKI, Dr. Mewujudkan, who was on duty at the Solo hospital, was kidnapped and killed by the PKI. Likewise, Colonel Marhadi was kidnapped and killed by the PKI in Madian. Still in the same month, the PKI kidnapped the Kiai of the Dakaran Islamic boarding school in Majutan. K.H. Sulaiman Zudia Fondi was viciously kidnapped by the PKI and buried alive in the killing well of Kogo village, Bendo district, Majutan Regency. The wells found 108 skeletons of victims of the PKI savagery. In addition, hundreds of people were arrested and slaughtered by the PKI at the Goreng-Garing sugar factory. Subsequently, Colonels Jogasu Jono and Sumarsono declared the Republic of Indonesia Soviet by appointing Musso as president and Amir Syarifudin Harahap as prime minister. The Madian PKI movement erupted in September 1948, and the Siliwangi Division 1 led by Colonel Soenkono attacked the PKI from the east, and the 2nd Division led by Colonel Gatot Soebrodo attacked the PKI from the west. The PKI captured Madian and then took control of Majudan, Ponorogo, Basilan, Trenggalek Nawi, Purwantoro, Sukoharjo, Wonogiri, Purwadadi, Kutas Pati Blora, Rembang, and Cebu, as well as other cities. The atrocities of the PKI became more and more rampant by arresting 20 police officers and torturing and massacring them. The region of Blora, Mr. Iskander and the sub-district head of Margaroho, Patio Toro, along with 3 others, namely Dr. Sasanto, Abu Umar and Gunandar, were also victims of the outrages of the Blitter PKI. His body was later found in a well in Porondang hamlet, Kedungringan village, Tahungan district, Blora Regency. To dispose of all the bodies of the victims they tortured and massacred, the PKI Majudan made 7 hellholes. The savagery of the PKI was crushed. After October 1948, the leaders of the PKI rebellion in Madian were arrested and sentenced to death. They are Musso, Amir Syarifudin, Suripno, Jogasu Jono, Marudo Darusman, Syogo, and others. The Madian incident in 1948 was part of the 30th of September 1965 movement, explained Restu. Restu emphasized that all parties for and against the September 30th, 1965 movement must have the same understanding to reveal the history of historical sources and the development of science and findings. People are often hysterical because of different understandings, so that hostile blocs emerge, he said. With the research as a whole will provide a better understanding to the public. One of them is the filming of the new September 30th movement with new sources. Moreover, the September 30th movement film was made in 1980 with limited sources. Now people can access sources from anywhere. So I think indoctrinative films are no longer necessary. If necessary, a new film is made from the findings and news sources such as the results of the post-mortem. This will be a comparison for the community, he said. Finally, Restu said that the events of 1965 could be reproduced in a new film based on before and after the September 30th movement broke out, so that history did not side with one party and caused one group to be injured. History is based on existing sources, so it is not tendentious and impartial. It is necessary to reconstruct the events in a comprehensive manner either before or after. So the community fully accepts the incident, he concluded.